Hello and welcome back to the Sovereign Sisters podcast. I am the Sovereigness.
And it's me, Infinite C.
And we back with dessert, if it's what you came for.
It's some
people start off with dessert. We have a cousin that she will have dessert before appetizers.
Bro, is it the cousin I'm thinking of?
Yes, most definitely. The Taurus. Is it the Taurus?
Bro, definitely the Taurus. For
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Shout out to the Taurus. Shout out to our cousin. Shout out Cuddy, if you listen.
So, she's probably going to listen to it in the order of dessert first, but can it be called dessert if it's before the appetizer? Isn't it then just an appetizer? You know what? It is what it is.
It's this appetizer.
No, there you go. So today's dessert is the topic of Hoism. Now, that's Heauxism. Hoism. All right. Now that we got that established, you just might be a hoe. I just might be a hoe.
We just might be some hoes.
Yeah. And it's okay. Own that shit. Be a sovereign being. Own your hoism. Now, why are we saying that we, you, him, she, we might be a hoe? Just might be a hoe.
Just might.
There's several reasons why, and this is why being judgmental and slut shaming and all that is so just non-elevated. Like let me not judge that, because everybody hasn't reached the perception that other people have reached. They're still on a journey of acceptance. So, and again, we haven't reached our full potential of accepting anything, but in hoism, I have reached acceptance, and it's not so much that I am accepting it because I am a hoe. I could be.
Might be a hoe.
I might have been in the past, and I could be in the future. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, judgment is not something I'm placing on the hoes. I love the hoes. The hoes love me.
Shout out to the hoes. And
shout out to the hoes. Because
stripper hoes.
All of the hoes. First of all, strippers are not hoes. Okay, they're literally doing a job. It's entertainment, and that shit is hard as fuck. Like, that is a whole workout. I want a pole in my house. I wanted to put one in the master bedroom, but my husband was like, that ain't practical because the kids be busting up in here. Okay, we should have got a house with a basement because I want a pole. It's an excellent workout for your core, especially after having children. So, and there are women and men who strip, and like, who said that? Was it Ronnie or was it Ebony? No, it was Ronnie. You got to use what you got to get what you want.
And if you want, baby.
If that is people staring at you, because they're going to do it anyways, whether you in clothes or not, they're going to stare. If you have the physique that they want to look at, they're going to look. So why not get paid for it? So I immediately take strippers off the table for hoism because they're getting paid to do a job, which is entertain. Now,
so what is the hoe then?
So
that's my question to you. What is your definition?
So my definition of a hoe is happiness over everything.
Lord, okay, Janae.
Doing what I want, when I want, how I want, and it's really a mind state of not being connected, like not connecting in a way where emotions are involved, knowing how to, I guess, have compartmentalize. That's what I'm looking for. Knowing how to compartmentalize your needs and desires versus emotions, like emotionally connecting with somebody in a sexual manner, or mostly that's where I place hoism, is like the sexual side of things, connecting with somebody. It's sacred. It's a sacred energy exchange. But if you have an understanding with that person, like, there ain't no feelings involved here. It's literally, you have what I want, I have what you want. We're about to exchange energy for pleasure. That could be hoism, but it's not a bad thing to me. It's enjoying yourself because that's what you want in that moment. And everybody ain't gonna like it, but everybody ain't in a bed. So who gives a fuck? Sam, what's your definition?
Okay. My definition of a hoe.
Why did the accent come out?
Where are we definitions?
We're going to England.
I'm reaching into my dictionary.
And my definition of a hoe is one male, female, in between, or whatever the hell they identify as.
Right.
Who owns and uh, allows their sexual energy to flow as they wish.
Okay, so yeah, we might.
That is what I think a hoe is. I think a hoe is somebody who does what they want with their body and don't give a fuck, and they just do what they want. You know what I mean? How they want to, and they just own it. That's what I think a hoe is.
Yeah, I think
you could be a hoe and be celibate.
I mean, pretty much.
What I'm saying, like, that's how I see it.
So your definition is basically not giving a fuck about anybody else's opinion
about your body and how you choose to do whatever you do sexually with your body.
Yeah,
that's what a hoe is to me. Yeah.
It's a body, y'all. Like, it's literally flesh. Like, what is it about? Like there's people like Instagram models or social media models, or hell, just models, period, that get flamed for posting pictures of them in lingerie. But y'all were looking at Beyonce doing a whole concert set in a fucking leotard.
Oh, you remember when that was coming for Chloe Bailey? Like
y'all don't leave people alone. Like, they're whole entertainers. And then the people that, even if you're not somebody who's monetized to show up on social media in a bra or whatever, there's people at the beach wearing less. So y'all all might be hoes, and that's okay.
Everybody's a hoe.
You don't care about what people have to say about your body in that bikini or that one piece or whatever you're wearing. So what is it?
Everybody's a hoe.
What is it about people? There's something so triggering about people being confident in their body and posting pictures of them in a sexy piece of lingerie for men, especially, though. And I wonder if it's like, is it because you can't have that person their radar? I just be wondering. I'm like, why are you so triggered by it? Like, they look the fuck good. Just like it and carry on.
I think it because you know what I think it is? I think people, not just men, but men and women too, because you don't have to be a man to have a patriarchal mindset. Yeah. So I think people get uncomfortable with the idea of people owning their sexuality and kind of being free with how they express it, whether it be through clothing or whatever, and then just showing up like that, whether it be online or wherever. I think people get uncomfortable with it because it's kind of like a glitch in the matrix kind of thing. Like, I feel like it just kind of throws off the balance of what is supposed to be done and what isn't. Like, you're not supposed to own your body. You're not supposed to be okay with people not being accepting of what you're doing. Like, you're supposed to conform. And so I think it's because when people non-conform and they do what the fuck they want based on whatever it is that they want to do, I feel like it's like a glitch in the matrix. And I think that kind of breaks that patriarchal, like, way of identifying, the way we've been identifying, where women have to cover their heads, like, or women have to cover their bodies, or women have to be subservient to men. And when a woman shows up or a woman or anybody shows up especially specifically women though, show up in their like sexual entities, it's kind of like a fuck you to that concept.
Possessive patriarchal mindset, because
exactly
it ties back into possession. Like, why are you trying to control what people do with their bodies?
Exactly.
It's so weird to me. And we're living in that right now with the whole Roe versus Wade thing. Like, get the fuck out of people's uteruses and everything, their assholes and ball sacks and titties. That's the whole other the breastfeeding thing. Like, people being like, that's so nasty. That's what the titties was made for. Y'all niggas is the ones sucking on them when it was really there to nurture and nourish your ass.
Right.
Now everybody's so disgusted by women wanting to keep their children fed. Cover the baby's head. You could have, your motherfucker. I don't want to see you smack. I don't want to see the saliva dripping out of your mouth when you take a bite out of your food. Cover your head.
And that's the thing. That's the European patriarchy, because Aboriginal people wasn't doing that shit.
Right.
Women and men was out here bucket ass naked, Adam and Eve style.
Bucket.
You know what I'm saying? Bucket naked with no leaves covering their groins. They was just naked out here doing their thing, living, and ain't nobody looking at them like, oh, I'm so horny and I want to. That just goes to show the discipline of the men who are programmed by this fucking patriarchal society.
Yeah.
You're so entitled. You're so fucking entitled that you feel like if a woman doesn't cover her body, it makes it okay for her to be subject to a disgraceful like being subject to someone's disgrace.
Yeah.
Like in any form, whether it be verbal or physical or whatever. Like that just goes to show your entitlement. Like, how about you control your peenie weenie? How about you control your mind? As a man, it's okay for you to not be in control of your peenie weenie in your mind, but it's not okay for her to be in control of what she like. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, like it's okay for you to be out here being flagrant with your emotions, your sexual emotions, but it's not okay for her to be out here doing the same thing.
I mean, yeah, that goes back to the control thing. I feel like some people have been programmed from birth to be controlling based off of either their gender or their position in the world. But I'm just sitting here, like, the more you talk, the more I'm like, damn, women are subjected to a lot. Like, even thinking about like women in our hair, right? Like, people will, not just women, obviously, women of color, when we do something different with our hair, people want to touch it and they will touch it before they even ask if they can. It's like the same thing with our bodies. Like, just because I feel comfortable with wearing this doesn't mean you get to either. I mean, I can't tell you what to do with your body. If you want to look, that's fine, but you can't just come touch me because it's there. You can't come into my space. That's another thing. Like, people don't understand personal space. Don't enter my bubble. I've been saying that since I was like in middle school. Like, I don't like people in my bubble. Like, if I feel comfortable with you in my bubble, then that's fine. But you can't just enter my bubble. And we all have one. You can tell when somebody's in your space, like you're a little too close.
Yeah.
And some people don't understand personal space. So for a woman or a man, whoever decides to, I mean, because men can wear chaps with their ass out. That doesn't give a woman a right, or anybody a right, to come up and smack their ass like you do.
Hoochie daddy shorts.
Right. I can look at it. It's there. Like, you for these eyes to look. You ask for me to look at it, but I'm not going to come over there and violate your space. And if you ask me not to look, I'm not going to look.
Right.
It's a respect thing. So I don't know. I feel like people coined the term hoe for it to be disrespectful, but it's like, really, you're the idiot because you're mad that I'm owning my truth. I feel like right now, I don't want to be in a relationship. I would rather just sleep with people who I find attractive. Right. I would rather sleep with people who I find attractive and have some sort of connection with. We're on the same frequency. This frequency has nothing to do with you. Right. This frequency has nothing to do with you, so you're not going to get it. Therefore, mind your business. Why are you in this business? Either you're in this frequency and you don't like that I'm operating in it so freely, or not in this frequency and you have nothing to do with this, so mind your business. And if you're in this frequency, just join the fucking fun. Why are you being a fun snatcher? Nobody wants you on this frequency. This is the fun frequency. Right. Like, this frequency is supposed to be fun. You over here looking and judging and shit. Like, you join it or not, then go on about your business.
That part. I agree with that. I definitely feel that. I just wish, and you know what, this is where I feel like this is where society's going. But then also too, I feel like it's very scary for people who are super traditional, and like the sense of like there has to be like order to everything. And I feel like we're like, people now are super fluid, like obviously gender fluid and just all types of fluidity going on, right?
Yeah.
which I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, like I feel it, but then I still have questions. So, but also too, I was going somewhere with that. Where was I going? Bring it back in.
Agenda? Do you feel like there's like an agenda? That's where you
No, not necessarily an agenda. Just more so like, okay, like be fluid, but also have like some boundaries.
Right.
Because you can't be out here being super fluid. You know what I'm saying?
The thing, though, sis, that's
like
the thing.
Spreading shit around, like you might want to like I feel like there's a fluidity to things, but there's also still an air or a sense of like self-respect and class. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing though, like self-respect in class is different for every, that's a spectrum thing. Like your idea of self-respect in class is different from somebody else's. And that's like saying somebody like comparing the lake's fluidity to the ocean, or a cup of water to a jug of water. Like we don't know the boundaries for everybody. So, and everybody might not want to have boundaries. Everybody might be like, I'm open to try everything at least once. So,
okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and I think that's okay. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so for instance, right, there's a situation that's been going around, or that happened years ago, where this person was going around spreading a disease to people.
No, but that's not the same thing.
But that's what I'm talking about, because it's like, where does the boundary lie? Because it's like, you're fluid and that's cool. Like that's not the issue. But it's like, how are you being respectful to yourself and to others when you're doing this? Because it can get tricky. If you're being, like I said, to me, being a hoe is obviously just owning your sexuality, period. Doing what you want to do with your sexual body, however you want to, how you want to do that. But then also too, like, to what extent, I feel like there has to be a level of respect. There's still fundamental, like structure, I feel like, that needs to be in place in some way. And obviously that is different for different people, because I can't tell you how many people you should have sex with, but I will say it would be smart and wise of you to like wrap it up, or like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, or be mindful of who it is that you are giving your body to, because even if you can have sex with who you want, but also too, like, I just think it would be important for me personally, to be mindful of who I'm sharing my body with.
I mean, I think that goes back to morals and ethics though. Like, just like nobody wants to go out and murder people. Like there's people that are just ruthless and boundless. But what I'm saying is, like, if you know you're going to be out here being, somebody who's very fluid and does what they do with different people, make sure you're being safe about it. That's just a general rule of thumb for everything. Like, don't be out here. If you're taking other people's options away from them, you're already being unsafe. No matter what your body, whatever you have going on with your body, as far as like disease or health, whatever the case may be, knowing your status so that you can inform the person that you're getting ready to connect with in that way. So they have the option to say, oh no, I'm good, or I'm good with that, or I got the same thing going on. Like, you have to give people their choice. Back to free will. Like, don't take somebody's free will away from them by exposing them to something that is within you, and you didn't give them that up front. But you know what else though? Maybe there should be whole contracts. Like, look, not NDA. Then you need to fill out this whole goddamn thing. This is the NDA. You ain't telling nobody nothing unless we both agree to it. Also, I need to know that you clean or whatever. Right. Or you need to know in this contract it says that I have X, Y, and Z. Whatever the case may be, just be transparency. In this day and age, transparency is fucking key. Like, if you can just be transparent with people, that gives them options. It says, I care about you, or I care about myself enough to know I'm morally correct, ethically correct in saying this is what's going on over here. Are you good with it or no? No, it's nothing for me to just walk away. Then it's nothing for you to decline, because there's somebody else that's going to be okay with it. And that goes back to possessiveness. Like, if I'm being transparent with you and you decide that you don't want to do something with me, I have no control over that. But if I'm not being upfront with you about my intentions or what's going on with me, automatically I'm controlling this shit, because I know something is going on with me. Nothing is going on with me, by the way. But
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, hypothetically, if something is going on with me and I don't even tell you up front, that is a possessiveness. Like, I could be passing something along to you, or could not be. I'm gambling with your life and you don't even know.
Yeah.
If I'm being transparent, I'm saying, this is a free will choice of yours.
Right. Yeah.
And I think fluid, be transparent, boo. Don't be dirty water.
Exactly. Like, if you're that fluid, then be open. If you're that open and you're that fluid, then you should be open and that fluid.
Be like, very clear.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, just hoe responsibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hoe responsibly. Like, it's that simple. Like, hoe responsibly. Do it on your own terms, but do it responsibly. You know what I mean? Like,
I love a
go out, hoe. Like this, go out and have a fucking wild time, but don't get shit faced and then drive and then ruin your life and somebody else's.
Right.
Like, take a fucking Uber, or, you know what I'm saying? Something.
Yeah. So responsibility. I mean, all of our topics have been kind of tying in together with the possessiveness, body positivity, self-awareness.
Yeah.
It ties in together. So, and I hope that there is something in all of these that just elevates the mind or brings a new perspective, a fresh pair of eyes or insight that's like helps you to love yourself and on others, because we definitely need more of that in the world. I'm so sick of hate and judgment. Like, just let people be. If they have nothing to do with you, you have nothing to do with them. Let them be, as long as they're not causing any harm. And that's been my mantra: do no harm, take no shit. Like, if I'm not fucking
that part.
if I'm not fucking with you, don't fuck with me, and vice versa. Like, it should be all love. Operate in the frequency of what's best for everybody, so we can get the fuck.
I honestly feel like everybody, if not everybody, at least a good 90% of people existing, at least in this part of the world, have had a hoe phase. Like,
oh my God.
I feel like we've all had a hoe phase. I feel like we've all done some hoe shit. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've all, and if we haven't done hoe shit, we definitely thought about it.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how are you so quick to judge? Like, how are you so quick to like condemn somebody for being expressive of themselves safely? We're assuming they're doing it responsibly. Right. But how are you so quick to condemn somebody when you've done the exact same thing, whether it be you be a male or woman or whatever the case may be, and you've had these thoughts, you've done these things, like you are not without sin, ma'am, sir, ma'am. Yeah. Like, what?
Sir, ma'am.
So I know I have had my moments.
Oh, 100%. I own it.
I don't regret now one of them.
Man, that was a good ass time. I'm gonna just go ahead and lay that out there. I was free, single, sexy, all that. What am I? Okay, single, sexy, and free. I was all of that, and it's something from my memory book. I can always refer back to it when needed. Just okay. And I can, and because of that experience, I'm able to help my children, cousins, you know, anybody coming up behind me, or anybody who was ahead, like older siblings who haven't had that same experience but might be thinking about it. I'm just saying, like, look, been there, and if you need a hand with how to navigate it, I got to
usher you in. I'm like, usher you into this thing. I got some notes and some clues and I got some stuff for you. I got some stuff.
Oh, that was a good old time. But I will say, like, my whole phase was a result of heartbreak. And it wasn't so funny because the heartbreak came from myself. Like, I was with a really good person and I decided that I was changing, and we weren't changing in the same direction. Like, I feel like I wouldn't even say evolving as much as I was just transforming, because it wasn't like I was moving ahead of him as much as I was just like, we're turning into two totally different people. I don't think we should be together. I really loved him. But I just knew that it wasn't going to work. So, breaking my own heart, Scorpio shit. Just like, let me just go ahead and get it off the way, because this foundation ain't right. And then moving out of that space and connecting with somebody who I thought was on the same thing. Like, that's the funny thing, is I thought I was being transparent with this person. Like, I'm not looking for that. I just got out of a long-term relationship. And he was like, okay, but then he caught feelings. So I was like, that's not what I'm here for. And then he entertained it. He entertained that longer. So we were friends with benefits, not even friends with benefits, really. Like, we barely knew each other like that, except for that we were attracted to each other and we had mutual friends. And so we decided to, you know, I guess we could call it a cuddy buddy. Let's call it that. So we were cuddy buddies. And I basically was like, I don't want to be in anything other than this. Like, I like what we have right here. I don't have to feel an emotional attachment to you. I don't have to be out here caring about I don't have to worry about what time you coming home. Like, I was very free. Like, I had my own place. I had my own thing going on. And then the further we got into him going out of town, coming back at 4:00 in the morning, like, can you come over? Me being like, yes. And me being very submissive, which I'm not naturally in my everyday life, but I like that about him. I think he liked that, and that's what he was looking for in a partner. And so it wasn't gonna work no more. And so that was the beginning of my whole phase. I was like, all right, well, that was fun. Gotta go. Moving on to another friend. And it's funny because that guy he's still my friend to this day, but it just wasn't what I wanted because I felt like I deserved that. Like I was very young. I got with my ex-boyfriend when I was 15. We broke up. Wow. I was 21. So
yeah.
Damn. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the whole relationship thing. I just got out of that. I'm really discovering myself or where I am right now, what I want right now. And the first guy on my whole list was kind of just like, okay, I'm cool with that, but really I'm gonna change your mind. And it didn't happen. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I broke my own heart and then decided I wanted to just hoe myself around a little bit, but it wasn't even hoeing myself around as much as it was just like, I like sex. And I tell everybody that like, it's a very lovely thing.
The way you're saying it.
It's an amazing way. Especially when you know, like when you understand connecting that way, it's an energy exchange. And so when you understand it in that way, it's a totally different experience. So I'm very fond of it. Love it. I'm very excited for whoever discovered that and whatever they're doing in their next life because I can't wait to see.
I'm done.
The elevation of sexual energy exchange. I'm a fan.
I'm a huge fan of yours, Mr. Sex. Mr. Sex. Can I have your autograph? No, but like, I get you. It's always the younger years. It's always after a huge heartbreak. It's funny because you were with someone from, you said 15 and 21?
Yeah. That was my guy. That was my guy.
Jeez. And that was your first like real relationship.
I guess you could say that. Like, I feel like I had a couple of false starts for sure. Okay. It wasn't the guy that I lost my virginity to. That was like a quick relationship. Well, I want to say quick. That was a relationship, obviously. Then the guy after that was a relationship. I was really trying to get to know him. But the 15-year-old, I was about to turn 16. So we'll say 16 to 21. Okay. Like we lived together and everything. I won't say terrible. I was a very wild child. I was a very, I don't like authority. I never liked authority. And I felt like there was a lot of changes taking place really quickly around that time of my life. And my mom was like, go on and go. So I went and stayed with him. And then as soon as I turned 18, I got my own place and we stayed together through all that. He never met me though. Like we didn't get a place together. It was always, I had my own, he had his own. And so maybe that's why it worked. But at the same time, at 21, I hit a place where I was like, oh, something's changing. Something's changing.
You was legal. That's what happened.
No, it wasn't even that. I felt like I was transforming and he was very content, which seems to be with men. Like they get comfortable. And I'm not. I'm too fiery. I'm way too fiery to be stagnant and robotic. And like I like routine, but for some things, not for my whole life.
Yeah. You still need that spontaneity and like that jolt of like energy.
Yeah, stroke the fire. Stroke the fire. Yeah. Put it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so my situation was definitely kind of similar. Not the whole situation, just like being with someone for me, it was my first relationship from like, I was a late bloomer, so
I remember.
But we started when I was 19, and then we separated when I was 25, I think.
Wait, hold on. 5? Okay. Oh, so that was about the same amount of time.
Yeah, and then after that, it was just he was hoeing while he was with me. So I was like, okay, nigga, that's what we doing. So
I mean, you know what though, sis? I had one slip up, but I had a conscience, so it didn't happen again. But
I mean, he did too. He had a conscience too. And then so when it wasn't like he was a constant hoe, like in that, but I think that's something to be mindful of while we're talking about this. Like you can be a hoe, sure. But like we were talking about being honest. So like if you're in a relationship with someone and you're hoeing and you're not being honest with that person that you have made this like commitment to and that you are building this trust with and this union with, and you are breaking that, like be mindful of that because that's kind of fucked up. Like we said, hoe responsibly.
Yeah, so, and transparent, be a transparent hoe.
Being transparent, exactly.
Don't
with that, like we broke up eventually. The first time we broke up. And then I was like, oh, bet. Okay, cool. I haven't been single. I'm fine as fuck. I'm feeling good. Like, I was just feeling really good about myself, had a very big jolt of confidence. And after that, it was just like, I was on go. I was on Hoe. That's what I was on. I was on Hoe. And I was on go. I was on Hoe. And then nothing was stopping me. And then some months later, like maybe like 7 months later, he tried to come back into my life, and I was being very like distant with him. And then eventually I gave in, and he was like, well, maybe we should get back together. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to get back together. And yeah. he had the audacity to ask me, well, have you had sex with anyone?
It's not your business.
That's not your business, buddy. You fucked up. You fucked that up. You ruined it. And yeah, I was out here fucking people. He was mad because he was my first. Right. And the only guy I had been with for that entire time that we were together. And then so like in that 7 month stint, you know what I'm saying? I did what I had done, and he could not take it. Because when I told him that, you know what? Yeah, I have fucked around. The look on his face is like the soul drained out of his
body. That some shit? Ain't that?
And we're not even together, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like
meanwhile,
together.
And it's like
you was fucking on bangs while we weren't, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like, what?
If you really wanted to be together, then why the fuck did you fuck that? Like, why would you go and mess with anybody else? And
exactly.
So weird. People are so weird.
And then that goes back to that ownership. And he had a lot of shit with him.
Yep.
He had a lot of shit with him. He had that possessiveness. And I honestly feel like men, I wouldn't even just say cisgendered men. I'm gonna just say some men in general, people who identify as male.
I mean, there's women too. There's
women. But it's different. I feel like it's a little bit different because I've noticed that women can be more forgiving when it comes to infidelity than men.
Yeah.
And even like when it comes to like the sexual part of it, I've noticed that. Like I've noticed that, I'm not gonna say in every situation, but I've noticed that women can be more forgiving in those situations than men are typically. And like just like in this example, we weren't even together, and once he found out that another man had touched my body, it was just like all bets are off.
Yeah,
like he couldn't even be with me. We tried to be together after that, but it was never the same because of obviously me not having trust for him anymore, and him feeling the way that he felt about me moving forward. There's even like this complex that says that once your wife, like you marry your wife, you fuck the shit out of her, and then once she has your baby, you see her as a Madonna. It's the Madonna whore complex.
Wait,
so
what?
Like have you heard of look up the Madonna whore complex.
Oh my God. I'm scared to even look, girl. Because I'm about to
There's a Madonna and then there's a whore. The Madonna is the one you revere, the one you look to as like, you know, like the mother, the mother, the wife. And then once you have that, you don't see her as the whore anymore. Like you don't want to have sex. You become less sexually attractive.
Wow.
Yeah. Because now she's a mother to your child. You know, she's your wife. You know, so there's this different, you hold her to this different standard than you would a whore. So it's interesting because men will look at women in two different genres like, oh, well, she's a hoe. She's only good for smashing. And you love that girl. You love the Jezebel. You actually love the Jezebel. You just don't want to marry the Jezebel. So it's just like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like
because if the they can't bring like Jezebel home to mom and dad or whatever.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, why does it, like, if she's okay, that just because she's a hoe or just because she's very sexually fluid doesn't mean that she's a bad person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here who's sexually fluid isn't a bad person. Now there's people out here who are sexually fluid who are fucking demons, and I don't mean that in a way like educators. I mean, yeah, they can educate you on some shit if you choose to take that path, but I mean in the sense of like soul snatchers, where they're just horrible for you and they will be horrible to you.
Yeah,
men and women. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out here who are prude as fuck and are bad for you too. So it's just like, I don't think someone's sexual nature is dependent upon them as a human being. Like, yeah. I don't think that goes hand in hand, but it's just interesting. And I was mentioning that to say like, how some men, not all, but some men who cisgendered or whatever, patriarchal men, people see women as either a Madonna or a whore. And it's just like
crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Because like, why can't she be both? And most women
right, exactly.
Like most women have that nurturing aspect, but also have that hoe. And then that's like, I just want to just be crazy tonight. Like and I want to look good and I want to feel good and I want to, be desired. What's funny is I just had a conversation with somebody that was like, he didn't understand Ayesha Curry's stance on wanting to be desired. And I'm like, well, her husband is desired by many people because he's an athlete and she doesn't get that same attention, which I know what you're saying. Like, oh, well, why would she want to? She's a whore. I'm like, why is she a whore? Because she wants to be desired. How do we know that that wasn't some sort of like cryptic message that her husband doesn't desire her? Like, we don't know. You can't tell a woman how to feel. Like if she feels like she's not desired, that's a valid feeling for her. She wants to feel desired. She doesn't want to just be looked at as Steph Curry's wife and Riley's mother. Like that's a whole woman. Like there's so many facets to a woman.
Right. And then there it goes, that Madonna whore complex. Well, why would she want to be desired?
Right.
She's a wife and a mother, and she's married to one of the richest NBA players in the world, and she shouldn't want to be. She has everything, and it's like you don't know what the fuck they got going on in their relationship. First of all, second of all, she's still a human being who has desires. She still has needs. Everybody on this planet wants to feel like they're desired by somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. The reason why we are in relationships is because our partners desire us and we desire them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even outside of our relationship, sometimes you just want to feel attractive. You want people to look at you like, damn, you look good.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You want to hear that. Sometimes you want to hear that, whether it is to feed your ego or whatever. We're human beings. So maybe that is the case. But regardless of the situation, she shouldn't be demonized for feeling like a fucking human.
I mean, she was literally called a hoe for wanting other men to to her. But that's the thing too, is like I said, like you don't know what's going on with them. I know people that are in whole relationships that never get compliments at all from their husband, so they don't, or not even their husband, but their significant other, so they don't feel like they're attractive or desirable. So it's nice when a stranger is like, you look really nice, or can I get your number or whatever. Not to say that you're going to play into it, but it's like, oh, I still got the juice. Men do it all the time, and they use it. Like you guys are creating separate accounts, look on social media, or you're following all these females or men or whoever you're following because you want to feel like, I don't know, like you still got the juice. It's almost like some people keep one foot out just to make sure, like flirt with other people when they're in relationships, because you want to feel like you have the juice still, like, oh, somebody still wants me. But it's not okay for a woman to feel that way. Then she's a hoe.
Not a married woman with children, no, because she's Madonna.
Boy, girl,
yeah, it's bullshit.
I hate it here.
And you know what I've noticed in all of these conversations? You know how you said they tie together? A lot of them stem back to a European patriarchal ass mindset.
Yeah. And it's not, like you said, it's not just like men that have that mindset. There's women that have that mindset too.
Yes, absolutely. Just because just like I say that age is not synonymous with wisdom, patriarchy is not synonymous with men. Like that shit is for everybody. Anybody can be patriarchal, just like anybody can be fucking stupid and immature. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? It's like our country is so afraid to have a woman be president or be in charge, when it's like the men that have been in charge have run such like a tight ship and structure and kept everybody under their thumb, where a woman is a little more fluid. Like we want everybody to feel at peace so shit can flow right. So it's funny to me that everybody is afraid for a woman to be in charge because, oh, she might have her period and become too emotional.
What? Oh my God.
I've heard so many things. She gonna push the button. I'm like, we had a whole clown and he had nuclear codes and everything. Could have pushed the button at any moment. Y'all put more trust in him than somebody with some emails. Come on, y'all. And then nobody ever found the emails. I'm so confused. So going forward, we're going to need to put a woman in a position of power just to test the theory out. Like if we could test the theory out with a whole clown, can we just get a hoe in the White House?
A whole motherfucking Cheeto. Like y'all let a whole Cheeto clown.
I mean, listen, look at how smooth shit was going when Monica Lewinsky was blowing Bill Clinton. I'm just saying, put a power of position.
Lord.
Everybody gonna feel good. Just saying.
Lord. Just said put a hole somewhere so everybody can be okay. God damn. Just let us hoe out in these streets. Everybody be much happier.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe was keeping JFK right until somebody got mad about it, I guess. I'm just saying, hoes do a lot for a spirit.
Ah.
It's the fluidity, the flow of just living your life and feeling pleasure and not being concerned with what other people think about you, feeling joy.
Mm-hmm. That part.
That's what hoism is. So I think we've talked longer on the whole topic than we did on the meat and potatoes or the what was it, mushroom and potatoes, the
mushroom,
jackfruit, salmon. Lord, she pronounced anybody who pronounces salmon, please stop it. Not judging.
No, please keep going.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging, but please stop it.
No, please keep going.
That piece
because the American language, the English language is fucking stupid. Why is it there?
No, that fish did not die. That fish did nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
No, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. Like knife
or night.
Knife.
IGHT. There's a lot of words that have letters in them, and it's like, who put that there?
Why?
We going off topic now.
Why is Quuuee? Like, what the fuck? Or however you spell it, Quuu.
Why isn't it just Q? And why isn't Y just Y?
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's just unnecessary. Call it salmon, okay? Call it salmon, please.
This is where the whole mind state takes you. It just flows. It just flows and goes where it needs to go until it can't go no more. To you.
No, we calling it salmon because it's nothing but fish over here, baby. Shout out to the LGBT.
No. Don't do that, okay?
Bro.
No.
Stop.
You stop.
I was trying to connect it back together, goddamn it.
We're gonna go. We hope you guys enjoyed our hoism talk. You just might be a hoe. We just might be a hoe. They might be a hoe. Either way, keep your judgment to yourself. If they ain't bothering you, don't bother them. Let people do what they gotta do as long as they ain't hurt nobody. Okay.
And remember, peaches and cream. Okay,
Eat your fruit and vegetables. Take your chlorophyll. Take your supplements so your flora is okay. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Bye, y'all.